Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Let's Look At series. Today we are taking a look at Offspring Fling. This came out literally yesterday on Steam, around the same time as Dynamite Jack actually, and like Dynamite Jack, it is also a puzzler. But I like this one a little bit more. It's not top-down, it's a side-scroller, and you kind of have this almost Pikmin-like mechanic of kind of these minions that you carry around with you, and the minions are very important to solving the puzzles. But anyway, I'll just show you as we get in here. So I will go to play, and this is basically our interface here. So it's a little bit simple, but it does the trick. So you can see if we start here, every level is basically a series of puzzles, but they tend to be pretty short. Like I've had some that are as short as 3 seconds, and some of them are more like, 49 seconds. That's probably a bad run. Or, 30 seconds. Typically, every level I've played so far has been under a minute. Now, like in a Super Meat Boy, or I guess like a Dust Force, every level has not only a reward for completing it, but you have to complete it in a certain amount of time in order to get the gold medal, or in this case, the golden flower. Now, every one of these flowers that you unlock goes towards this total over here. You can see I have 56 right now, and the number of total flowers that you have determines what levels you can play. So I'm on like level 30 here, and I have 56 flowers, so I've got gold on all but 4 levels. But as you can see, once we get a little bit later on, like level 60 and beyond require more flowers to unlock. In fact, level 100 requires 100 flowers to unlock. But I guess if I just get completion flowers on all these other ones, I'm going to be able to make it. But anyway, without further ado, let's get started here. I'll start on something fairly simple. I don't remember a lot of these levels. Let's just check out Hey Chuck. So Hey Chuck, we play as this floating yellow Kirby-like thing here. It's like a mix between a Kirby and a Pikachu. And then we have these little minions or babies here that we have to rescue. The way we do that is by picking them up, and of course naturally throwing them. And they do not actually suffer incredible brain damage. Instead, they're grateful, and our goal is to just get them to the end of the levels. This has been a pretty shoddy run, but also a pretty easy level to complete, as you can see. So we can try this again, and the game is very much based on this kind of like time trial idea. Like playing Mario Kart, you definitely want to beat your best lap in order to, oops, that was the wrong button. In order to, get those gold flowers. And, as in Trials, I'm pretty OCD about these levels. Wow, I'm, like, replicating my last run exactly. I'm pretty OCD about, like, my tries here. That was gold, but it wasn't as good as my last run. You know what, let's just watch my replay here for a second, see what he does. So he picks this thing up, comes up here, throws it, gets this one, and then what does he do? Does he throw this one as well? That's pretty good of myself. I don't remember how I did it. So let's grab this, come over here, throw it, jump up. Ah, that was what happened. I threw it in the right spot this time. Ah, but then I didn't grab this thing. See? Super OCD about this. We'll try this one more time, then we'll move on to a different level. Let's jump up here, toss this, hopefully, yep, that goes through the heart door. Just want to beat my own previous best. And I did. By, 20 milliseconds. Nothing substantial, but it's something. Let's go back to the level editor here. I'm using a combination, by the way, of my mouse and keyboard to navigate the interface here, and then my Xbox 360 controller to actually control the gameplay, because I always find that platformers work a little bit better when you're using a controller. But maybe that's just the way I was raised. I like using the analog stick or the D-pad to go left and right. X is action, A is jump. Whereas on the PC, it's like the arrow keys are moving. I'm just trying to remember now. X is jump, and C is action, which is a little bit confusing for me. But anyway, let's try something a little bit later. How about square switch? So later on, we come across these like switch puzzles. This is actually a pretty bad example of how this game works, or of how the switch puzzles work, because this one's way too easy. But you can see that right there. So, similar to a switch in basically any other platformer or puzzle game ever made. They usually cause blocks to either appear or disappear on the level. How about, let's check out Hold the Door. This might be a better example of how these switches are used. So with these switch puzzles, right now, it's kind of shitty because my ghost is like spoiling it. But you can see that it's impossible for me to access this baby on the far right side because I'll just fall through no matter how well I jump. So we'll restart this here. What I'm going to do is hit this switch and then grab this baby, come over here. I think I'll do a switch jump, or... Again, I can't really remember how I did this level the first time, but that is definitely not what I want to do. Again, I guess let's just watch a replay. So he hits the switch, goes over, grabs the baby, jumps on the switch, places... now I remember, okay. So we will hit this. Let's do this one more time. Hit the switch. Don't hit it twice. I didn't have to restart there, but again, my OCD, I want to make sure I have a good run. And then we're going to hit the switch here. No, okay, hit it again, come over here, drop our baby there. Yes, so that's going to block this so that I can actually come through here. Toss this bad boy in this direction. I might be able to pick up this baby if I... Yep. Toss this over. Oh! Ah! It did beat my time, actually, by 15 milliseconds. I did not expect that. Beyond just like the difference between the regular flower and the golden flower, there's also dev time, which looks like it gives you like a rainbow or a platinum flower. I assume these are the best times that the developer was able to get himself or achieve, or maybe they're just like basically like platinum medals for a little bit of balance issues. Because I don't know, maybe the developer's the best player in the world at this game, so it might not be fair to give like unreasonable goals. But so far, I haven't even come close to any of these. In fact, there will be times when I'll get gold, and I'll get gold easily, and then the dev time will be like 50% of the gold time. So obviously he's got some kind of tactics that I am missing. But without further ado, I think let's try a little bit of some later levels so you can see what's going on here. As you can see, there's 100 puzzles, or 100 levels, I should say. In addition to this, there's also a level editor, which I can never remember what these things are down here at the bottom. Is it Smiley Face? And the Smiley Face are credits. So you can see this is made by Kyle Pulver with some music by Alec Holoka. I am so goddamn sorry for the fact that I did not pronounce your name properly. Music in this game is kind of cool. It kind of reminds me of almost like Aladdin for the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. Kind of a weird comparison, but definitely that's the vibe I get from a lot of the music, especially not this track in particular, but there's a track that really reminds me of Aladdin. I guess we got our stats here, so I played for about an hour. I'm not sure what this goldness is for. Total level time. Okay, that's weird. I guess that's like all of my best times added together. I've grabbed successfully in the air twice in a row. 1.9 second hang time. And you can see like there's a lot of accidents that I haven't even encountered yet. So apparently there's new mechanics that I have not really discovered. I think this is the level editor, yes. So we do have a level editor, which is going to open in our web browser, which I don't want to do, but that's kind of cool. Again, the comparisons to Dynamite Jack are definitely there. So let's go check out a later level. How about Danger Below is the one I was on right now. Let's do Baby Stun first, then we'll do Danger Below. So this is the most recent mechanic that I've come across, and it's this idea that there are these monsters, and the monsters will eat us or eat our babies. So what I'm going to do is, toss this guy through here, and stun him with my own baby. I'm actually going to play this level one more time, and I'll show you why. It's not to get a better time, it's to explain the mechanics a little bit better. So by using down, we can pick up a baby, but we can only pick it up if there's at least one block of clearance above us. So if I go over here, you can see I also cannot walk through this, because my structure, my body is too tall right now with my baby on me. So I gotta throw my offspring through here. Luckily they're resilient, then we can use our baby to stun, and then move onwards. And this idea that, you know, certain geographies are impassable to you when you have 1, 2, 3, or etc. numbers of babies on your head is very important to the actual puzzle design of this game. So this is the most recent level that I completed, and the game does a good job of kind of like, the first level of a new mechanic will just introduce it, and then the second level... okay, there we go, that's what I was looking for. The first level of a mechanic will introduce it, like that monster one. The first time you encounter monsters, it's basically just like a very easy level where it's like, here's monsters, figure out what monsters do. And then as you get through, I think the levels are grouped in like groups of 10, but as you go through, they will be like, okay, here's a level, it's monsters plus switches, or here's a level, it's monsters plus switches plus acid, and here's a level, it's like monsters plus switches plus acid, plus you've got to do this weird little throw that is hopefully something I won't have to show off because I'm pretty bad at it. So that's how you beat that level. I'm going to try to do it a little bit faster because I was talking and explaining myself there. But this is a level that I have not been able to get gold at, but I've been able to get real darn close. The problem is gold is 22 seconds, so I want to be able to go through this part as quick as possible, but then the monsters just eat one of my dudes, and obviously that is, you know, an instant fail. Not in a fail block sense, in like a I can't beat the level sense. So I think what I might... already messed it up. What I might have to do is wait for, like, this dude's second pass. Oh, that was a bad idea. Because I don't think I can do this before the first pass. I'm not saying I can't... I don't think it can be done. I don't think I can do it. At least not yet. So let's drop this stuff down here. I'll leave this with like one switch left to go. And just wait for this monster now. There's no way I'll have enough time. We'll drop this, come back over here. It will be faster than my previous run, I think, but still not quite where I need it to be. 22 seconds. Alright, well, let's move on to the next level. So this is brand new to me, and apparently we have some brand new music as well. This is the third or fourth track I've heard in the game. It's certainly not like every level has its own track, but it is... There is some variety in the music, is what I was trying to say there. I guess, yeah, that's what I was thinking right here, is let's get the monster to step on the switch. Well, that's an easy level. I got the gold time on the first try. In fact, the dev time, I honestly feel might be within reach. Let's just try this quickly. So let's grab this. Like, this is the one thing I've noticed that I'm not going to really complain about, is that there seems to be some inconsistency in, like, the requirements for certain times. Like, definitely need to get on this. Like, certain levels, I find the gold time basically impossible, like that one you just saw me play a second ago. Whereas on levels like this one, the gold time, like, I've fucked up so many times before I even had a... Oh, come on, come on! I think oh my god, I was so close to the dev time. Let's try it one more time. Before I do, I want to articulate what I was saying before, which is that on levels like this, the gold time, the time required to get the gold flower, seems exceptionally easy. Whereas on the last one, I feel like it's borderline impossible. Like, everything, at least in that first kind of part of the game, has to be basically perfect. Anyway, let's try this again. I feel like I'm pretty close here. Is that the dev ghost, or is that my own ghost? I don't know, the black one with the ninja thing on it. Ah, God! I didn't grab it! This is the problem sometimes when you're using the analog stick for a platformer. Like, Hold on, let me try something here. I'm just gonna try things in a different order. That's not what I want to do. Okay, that won't work. Alright, let's try this one last time. I guess the start of my level, or the start of my game here... God, just grab it! I'd prefer to use the D-pad, but for whatever reason, the game doesn't accept the D-pad on the Xbox 360 controller. I went to set keys and everything like that, but that's fine. I'll use the analog stick. I can survive. Okay, jump on this thing. Oh! Just a little bit slower again. Oh well. They gave me hope. That's something. And I guess this is a new mechanic as well. We've got these bumpers here. My guess is that this kind of deflects them. Oh, well, that's just going to drop them in the acid, isn't it? How'd your baby die? That's a real tragedy. Yeah, you know, I picked him up and threw him into some acid. Can I make this throw? No, I absolutely cannot. So instead what we're going to do... Let's take both our babies, go around the other way here. Fire them both around these bumpers. Grab him like that and pick him up. Alright, that was a fairly easy one, once you figured it out. I haven't found any levels that are exceptionally difficult to complete. Well, maybe one level I found kind of difficult to complete. But the real difficulty is, you know, as in, like, let's say like a, what is the second level of Super Meat Boy called? You got the forest, and then you go to, like, the Castlevania-style level. It's, like, on par with that difficulty when it comes to finishing a level, but in terms of, like, getting A+, or, you know, gold flowers, as they're called in this game, it's more difficult, and that's kind of the focus. Similar to, like, the early levels of Trials Evolution. Beating the levels isn't hard. What's more difficult, and, you know, causes my OCD to flare up, is trying to get the actual gold flowers. So what do we do here? Oh, I didn't even notice those two guys at the bottom here. So, by firing one of these, that should activate this switch, which may allow me to jump up here. No, it will not, because I get a little bit heavier when you have the babies on top of you. So instead, we're going to fire two babies up here. And I'm going to grab onto this. Should allow me to pick up all three of these guys. But I can't quite make that jump after that. So let's try to optimize it here. Okay, we got to fire these two babies around. That's not a problem. Then we're going to jump up here. Let's take this one first. And then take these two. Again, not quite. That's so sad. So I can only take one at a time. I could throw them, but that doesn't seem like really the best idea, because they would just, like, bounce off these bumpers. But maybe the gold time has that accounted for. Gold time is 13 seconds. I must be missing something. Like, if I could just pick this one up... that's not what I want to do. I just want to check something very quickly. What happens if you just throw this at the wall? Does he... No, he does not go off the bumper. Okay. So, alright, well, let's pick these guys up. toss them around here like I know I have to. Jump up here, we'll grab one. You gotta be able to make that jump with two. That's the only way I think you can beat this level in time. Oh, so close. Oh, you know what? I'm a freaking idiot. Watch me just get gold here so easily. So stupid. Okay, we're gonna grab all three, and then just fire them off like this. Yeah, that was 100 times easier. Now I can understand that 10-second dev time. Alright, let's play a few more levels. I want to do some more, I guess more of this semi-advanced stuff, like more authentic puzzling experience, me playing through these levels for the first time. And maybe we'll even like skip further ahead, because I have a fair amount of flowers. Maybe I can check out a much later level. And just show you how the difficulty goes. Based on my playtime so far, like I said, you saw my playtime, I have about an hour into the game so far, and I was on puzzle like 30 or something, so that's about 30% through the game, minus the level editor. So, you know, if the difficulty curve holds, you would expect to finish it in about 3 or 4 hours. But I don't know, maybe the later levels are much more difficult. And of course, that all depends. If you just want to beat the levels, you're going to find yourself chewing through this game pretty quickly would be my expectation. Even some of those first levels took me a little while to get gold, so probably like 50% of my playtime is repeating levels trying to get gold medals, or gold flowers. So this level's called Rotated, and usually in the levels you can find, or the level name, you can find some kind of clue as to what the heck you're supposed to be doing here. My guess is that by rotate it, I need to hit the switch, which will rotate this bumper. And then, of course, that mechanic, which we learned in the last level, doesn't work, so we're gonna come over here and do this instead. And then we're gonna come through this way. So I can definitely optimize this. That was not a very good run. But it was almost good enough to get gold. And this is, again, I want to harp on this a little bit, that I feel that there's some inconsistency. Like, I had no idea what I was doing at the start of this level, and I was still only 3/100ths of a second off of actually getting the gold flower. Whereas on other levels, I feel like I can be, like, basically an expert, and I still can't quite get gold. Like, that was super easy. In fact, I'm gonna take another crack at this, because I feel like this is one of those levels where maybe I can get close to the dev time, and actually that's... Whoa, he is fast, man. Well, much faster than me. That was actually slower than my last time. Let's try this again. He definitely knows what he's doing. Ah, that was closer. And you know, I can actually see what he's doing, so that definitely is his ghost. That's kind of nice that they add that. Now, this one is still going to be faster. What he does is he grabs this one before, and then he does a jumping grab to get that one. Oh, I'm going to get close. I might not be able to beat it, but I'm going to get close. Now, that's not going to do it. You can tell, like, the difference between his and mine. I mean, there's a number of differences, but one of the big ones is that he does little jumps as opposed to big jumps, whereas I do... I messed it up. One more try, then we'll move on to a different level. So let's grab this. Little jump. Quick throw. He's still way faster. But that was alright. Okay, we'll move on. And maybe play like 2 or 3 more levels. You know, unlike Dynamite Jack, these levels do not take a long time to figure out what to do. Like some of those Dynamite Jack levels, that's not what I want to do. It took me like maybe 6 or 7 minutes my first run, whereas in this game, usually you can fairly easily figure out just what the heck you need to do. Alright, let's try this. I'm just trying to basically get a feel for what's supposed to be going on right now. I think that was the right course of action right there. So we'll take this baby, stand on the switch again, jump over here. The other mechanic that I should point out is that usually when you throw like on the level of your eye line, or your sight line. So like if I throw like this, I mean that one might actually throw the baby off the top of my head. But normally you gotta kind of like a 1 block down from where you are normally. For example, almost like where you're standing. Like if I just fired right now, well, they would just go directly into that thing. But you can see that there's a little bit of a descent as they go. It's not, they're not firing straight ahead usually. They're firing from where like your hands would be, which makes sense. All right, so let's get this going here. I guess I really want to get gold in this level. Again, OCD flaring up. So we will use an air grab there to try to speed things up a little bit. I can't make that jump with 2 guys. I can make it with 1. Alright, so now that I know that, let's move onwards here. Grab this, do that, Air grab did not work as I intended it to. Toss these guys over here, grab one. Toss this one over here. Okay, now I understand what I'm doing. Toss this one like that. Oh, get on the... Yeah, that was very lucky of me. I was off the switch. And in fact, I almost messed it up again. But very good timing on my part. That blue block would have stopped all their progress. Gold time is 25 seconds. Let's try this just one more time. Really want to show my skills, you know. So far, not so great. Grab this guy. Grab this guy quick. Make sure we stand on the switch. I can probably throw those guys faster. I don't need to, like, wait for one to arrive. Oh, that was so bad. Okay. I know I said one more try. Too bad. I have got a great idea for this. But my air grab doesn't work. Need to play some more fighting games to get that air grab mastered. Right? I can't... Forgot that I can't do this. Wow, I have borked this up substantially already. That's the thing, like, this is one of those levels where it feels like, for gold, maybe perfect is an overstatement, or an overestimate, but I feel like you gotta be pretty darn good. Whereas other levels have some more leeway, you know? Oh, that wasn't what I wanted to do, so I messed that one up a little bit. Yep, okay. Last try, I promise. I think I've got all the mechanics mastered, except this air grab here. That one went a little bit better. Let's jump up here, break this block. You can't break that block. Okay, that's the throw I was looking for. Okay, there's the second throw. I gotta stand on the switch. Now we can move. Was it 25 seconds? Oh, come on! Oh, so close. Oh, well. Yeah, let's move on to the next level. Maybe this will be the last one I'll play. Spiral Switch. So that block in the center is also a switch as well. But how we get to it is kind of beyond me at this point. So I guess we're just going to throw this guy in here. He's going to do a little spiral, and we'll see what happens. Like, what this changes. It's going to get rid of this block down here, but it may create a block of its own. Or not. Turns out that was actually surprisingly easy. Gold time is 16 seconds? Well, let's give it a shot now that I kind of understand what to do. So I can basically just stand here. I'll try to grab this guy out of the air when he comes around. I mean, this is one of those levels where it seems like you don't really have much in the way of, you know, leeway when it comes to making a better time. But the devs still beat me by well over a second. Anyway, let's go back to the level select here, the main menu. So I'm up to 67 flowers now. That's enough to unlock, I guess, up to level 75. Apparently not level 76, which requires 67 as well. But oh well, maybe you gotta beat some of these levels first. So this is Offspring Fling. Now available on Steam. I believe it was in some kind of bundle before. Maybe like the Indie Royale bundle. But yeah, now it's available on Steam for this opening week sale. It is going for $6.39. Which is kind of a weird price, but it's like a minus 15 or minus 10% off the original price, which is going to be $8 when this Steam sale is over. So, you know, this and Dynamite Jack, I've done a little bit of comparisons between them, because they are both not 100% similar, but both puzzlers that came out on Steam within like 24 hours of one another. I think Offspring Fling is definitely the one that I would favor between the two of those. I think this is definitely well worth the money, and it doesn't just feel like a ported iOS game, you know, like a lot of puzzlers do these days. But definitely Offspring Fling is a game that, if you like what you see, I would absolutely recommend it. I don't think you're going to regret your purchase whatsoever. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.